Warning, the following video contains major spoilers for those who have not seen X-Men Dark Phoenix. If you've not seen the film, I suggest you leave this video now. However, if you have seen it, I hope you enjoy the video.
Hey everyone, Lucamus Prime here, and it's time for another movie review. So I just got back from seeing X-Men Dark Phoenix. So this is indeed the last Fox X-Men movie before the X-Men joined the MCU. Yeah, I went to see it, and I have heard it had negative reviews prior to going to watch it. So I went in. I didn't listen to any reviews because when I watch a film, I don't agree with any reviews prior to actually seeing it myself, so I can make my own review. Because, you know, that's me really. I don't copy reviewers. So, yeah. But I actually think it was slightly better than what people have been saying about it. But it does have lots of flaws in it. So, anyway. Now, warning, this does unfortunately contain spoilers for all of you. So, you know the drill. You heard the announcement at the start of this video that it does contain spoilers. So, you know what to do. If you've not seen it, just leave, okay? And go and see it yourself. But if you have, I hope you enjoy it. So, we begin the story in 1975 where we have an 8-year-old Jean Grey. And she's on with her parents. And she uses, like, her telekinetic powers to accidentally cause a car accident. And this seemingly kills both of them. And then after that, of course, Charles Xavier comes to take her to his school. And it's revealed that he's blocked the memory of the accident from her mind to help her and also to hone her powers. This then leads into 1992, where the X-Men hear about a distress signal coming from the Endeavour shuttle, which is in space, which has been very badly damaged by a solar flare. Well, it's like a solar flare anyway, but yeah. So, Jean, Cyclops, Mystique, Beast, Nightcrawler, and Storm, they all go up, with Xavier helping them via Cerebro. Now, they do manage to save all of the astronauts, but unfortunately in the chaos, Jean ends up getting left behind on the shuttle, and the energy from this solar flare-like thing strikes her. But as a result, she actually absorbs all of it. She doesn't get damaged, she just absorbs it. And this saves the X-Shuttle from destruction. But there's one little problem, being that her powers have been greatly increased as a result of it. But unfortunately, because of this, the memory of her parents crashing, she remembers it because it's now been destroyed by blockage. So, while everyone is celebrating the X-Men's heroic actions, she psychically attacks all of them with a shockwave. And then she goes back to her childhood home because she learns that her dad is still alive. And but then the X-Men, they end up going to take her home, but in the chaos, she turns on them because Xavier blocks the memory from her, so she's very angry with him. And the X-Men try to subdue her, but unfortunately, she badly injures Quicksilver. I was very glad that he didn't die, because I didn't want him to have a repeat what happened to him in Age of Ultron. And now, spoiler alert, I was really angry that the trailer... I was already spoiled on this by the second trailer, and I was really angry that it actually confirmed this. I was angry that the trailer confirmed Mystique dies at the hands of Jean. I'm sorry. I couldn't get over it, really, how she died that quickly in the film. You know, she got flung into some wood and got impaled, and she died with Beast by her side, telling him that she loved him. So, Beast is incredibly angry with Jean and wants her dead. But Jean escapes, and this is where we get introduced to Magneto now. And he's on like some sort of mutant refugee island with other mutants. And he wants to help her, because he knows something's wrong and he notices blood on her, unaware that it's Mystique's. But when some soldiers come to take her, because she's under arrest, she ends up fighting them. But luckily he makes them leave, and then he turns her away because of it. And, during these events, a group of shape-shifting aliens called the, what are they called? The D'Bari, yeah. They come to Earth. And the leader of them, called, Vuk, I think, played by Jessica Chastain, yeah. She comes to Jean and tells her that she's been possessed by a force of cosmic power. And this power wiped out, the D'Bari's homeland. And it consumed all those it came across until, of course, it encountered Jean on the shuttle. So, yeah. So, Beast is betrayed by what Charles has done to Jean's memories, and also because of what happened to Mystique. So he joins forces with Magneto and tells him about Mystique. Magneto's angry and wants Jean dead now. So he joins forces with Magneto, and they go off to kill Jean alongside Magneto's mutants he's got friends with. The X-Men then learn of Magneto and Beast's plan to kill Jean, so they confront him, and then there's a big fight, which was pretty good, so very nicely done. Magneto does manage to infiltrate a building that Jean and Vuk are in, but when he tries to kill Jean, the Phoenix stops him from killing her, and then the Phoenix breaks his helmet. I mean, that was pretty shocking how she was able to do that. And then she threw him out the building. Xavier then comes in, but Jean tries to kill him. But eventually she stops when Charles convinces her to read his memories, which of course allows the Jean personality to return and stop the Phoenix from killing him, like in The Last Stand. I thought that was going to happen, because of what happened in The Last Stand. So Vuk then tries to take the Force from Jean, but Xavier then realises that it's going to kill her, but luckily Scott saves Jean by shooting Vuk out of the building, so that saves Jean. However, unfortunately, both of the factions, Magneto's and Xavier's, are then captured by the government and then placed on a prison train going to a containment facility. So during the trip to the prison, Xavier and Hank make up. But then unfortunately, Vuk and her Dubai forces attack the train. And there's a pretty cool fight. That was really good, really good. And the soldiers are all overpowered, so they free the mutants, and then there's this big fight. And luckily, Charles is able to get to Jean with help from Cyclops, and he's able to confer with her within her mind as a little girl. And this allows Jean to take control, and she then disintegrates all of Dabari's forces and saves her friends from the train wreck. So yeah, she literally disintegrates all of them. And then Vuk attacks her and tries to once again drain the power from her, but then Jean is then able to take her into space and then destroys her. So she takes the power and then unleashes it onto Vuk, and this kills her. But then, I was pretty confused about what happened to Jean here. She disappeared. So I'm wondering, where's she gone? And then after this, this really confused me. I noticed Cyclops were putting up a new sign on the school. It said Jean Grey School for Gifted Youngsters. So I'm thinking, hold on, where's Xavier? Why is he not there? And plus, Beast was the new dean of the school, so that left me really confused. It turns out that Charles had retired. So he's in Paris having a cup of coffee at a cafe where he reunites with Magneto, and then they play a game of chess. That was pretty nice little touch, referencing, the previous X-Men films. And then at the end, there's a shot of the Paris sky, and then we see an on-fire Phoenix flying. So that confirms Jean's alive. But yeah, so that's the plot summarised. So yeah, I mentioned earlier that I was angry about how the trailer confirmed Mystique dies. I was pretty sad about it. Then again, I kind of anticipated it because Jennifer Lawrence has always been saying she wanted to leave Mystique. So it wasn't entirely that surprising because of the trailer and because of what she was saying. Plus, I don't know why, but I feel like this movie went really fast for some reason, even though it's like nearly 2 hours long. And I think it's probably because there was lots of talking in it. Like, there wasn't really much action. I mean, there was, of course, the fight with Jean in her childhood neighbourhood. Of course, in New York outside that hotel. And then, of course, on the train. And that was it, really. Much less than the other movies, really. Plus, I am glad Quicksilver survived. And because I didn't want him to die again like in Age of Ultron. But there's one thing that I was pretty disappointed about. A couple, actually. Being that he didn't get to share any screen time with Magneto. I was really disappointed about that. He lacked screen time too, Quicksilver, because of his injury. And as well, I was hoping, because the film is set in the 90s, it would include a running scene again with 90s music in the background. Because I like 90s music, so I was hoping they'd pick a good song, but that never happened at all. So that really let me down. Cause I love watching those scenes, but they always do a great job making them. I was very let down by that. And plus, Jessica Chastain's character, she was a bit pointless, really. She didn't really play much of a big role in the story. And she lacked screen time as well, so we didn't know really much about her, being as this is, of course, her first appearance in the X-Men series. So, yeah, I was really confused about her. She really played much of a big role in the story. And plus, the ending, it was a bit, anticlimactic because of Jean disappearing and then renaming the school. Because if you've seen Days of Future Past, you'll know that at the end, in the retcon storyline where Wolverine changes the future from the Sentinel invasion back to, a peaceful reality, you'll know that Xavier is still the dean of the school. It's still called Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters. And Jean is there in the school as well. So I'm really confused as to why it didn't end on that note. But then again, it's kind of logical why that happened, because this film was meant to be the start of a new trilogy before the others got cancelled to make way for the X-Men joining the MCU. So I imagine in the next two films of this supposed trilogy would be setting up the alternate reality in Days of Future Past, which Wolverine created by stopping the Sentinel invasion. So, over to what I thought of the film. The acting was great from all the main cast members, James McAvoy as Xavier, Michael Fassbender as Magneto, and Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique. Sophie Turner as Jean Grey in particular was great as well. With the performance, dark and light side of Jean Grey, very well done. And Ty Sheridan as Cyclops, Nicholas Hoult as Beast, Alexandra Shipp as Storm, and Evan Peters as Quicksilver. They were all great, and Chloe Smith as Nightcrawler was good too. And so yeah, it's just Jessica Chastain's character. I didn't really know much about her. She didn't really play much of a big role in the story, to be honest with you. It's like her role was a bit pointless because she didn't really do much, just trying to save the Force from Jean. And Hans Zimmer's music score was great too. He's a great composer, so his music was really good for a film. It's just those cons I mentioned and the ending, they kind of spoiled it for me. So, if I was to grade this movie, I'd probably give it, say, about 6 out of 10. That's what I'd give it, because of those reasons and that, okay? So I hope you all understand that. Okay, so this was me reviewing X-Men Dark Phoenix. So be sure to give this video a like. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the film if you've seen it. Also, subscribe to my channel for more videos, and I will see you all later.